Ontario government is delivering on its commitment to reduce the aviation fuel tax rate in Northern Ontario, helping to lower the cost of living for people in the region. Finance Minister Rod Phillips was joined by Minister of Colleges and Universities and MPP for Sault Ste. Marie, Ross Romano, at the Canadian Bush Plain Heritage Centre to propose an aviation fuel tax rate cut in the north to 2.7 cents per litre from 6.7 cents per litre. The lower aviation fuel tax rate would help reduce costs on things like groceries and air travel. This reduced rate would apply to aviation fuel purchases in the north as of January 1st, 2020. Minister of Energy, Northern Development and Mines Greg Rickford will talk more about the government's plan to make life more affordable in Northern Ontario today at the Thunder Bay International Airport. The case of 3 boys who pleaded guilty in a sexual assault scandal at an all-boys Catholic school is due back in court today. The former students at St. Michael's College School in Toronto each pleaded guilty last month to 1 count of sexual assault with a weapon and 1 count of assault with a weapon. One of them also pleaded guilty to making child pornography. The charges stem from 2 separate incidents that happened in October and November of last year. The sexual assault and assault charges against a 4th student were withdrawn in August. The cases of 2 other students accused in the scandal have concluded, but the Ministry of the Attorney General has refused to disclose those outcomes. A 7th teen is set to go to trial next March. An Ontario court has ruled that a divorce granted in Syria to a couple who had not lived there in 2 decades will not be recognized in the province, in part because divorce proceedings in that country are unfair to women. Superior Court Justice Julie Odette found Syria did not have jurisdiction to grant the divorce, which was sought by the husband based on rules laid out in Canadian common law. Odette also found that even if Syria had jurisdiction, the divorce should not be recognized in Ontario on the grounds that the wife was denied natural justice in the Syrian divorce process. A law professor at Queen's University, Nicholas Bala, said that while still relatively rare, such issues are being raised in court more frequently in recent years due to population mobility. The ruling means the woman can now proceed with her application for spousal support. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is to meet with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in Ottawa today to lay out his priorities in the hope of leveraging his party's position in a minority government. Speaking on Parliament Hill yesterday, Singh says he has 3 key priorities that he hopes to see in the Liberal throne speech, which will be delivered when Parliament resumes on December 5th. The top ask for the NDP will be for the Liberal support for the immediate creation of a national universal pharmacare program. Singh says he wants to see an openness from the Liberals to public dental coverage. He says he will also push Trudeau to drop the government's legal challenge of a recent Canadian Human Rights Tribunal ruling that ordered Ottawa to pay $40,000 each in compensation to Indigenous children who were wrongly placed in foster care after 2007, as well as to their parents or grandparents. Singh says he's not issuing ultimatums, but he says his party would be willing to vote against the throne speech if it doesn't acknowledge the NDP's requests somehow. Premier Jason Kenney vowed yesterday to keep fighting for Alberta's slumping oil and gas sector as the industry unveiled another disappointing drilling forecast and faced more criticism from Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet. Kenney says if Blanchet is opposed to Alberta's energy industry, he should not be in favor of Quebec receiving federal equalization payments.
Blanchet, who now controls, I think, 32 seats in the House of Commons, said the following. He said that he was asked if he would show any support for the West that feels increasingly alienated. And he said, if they were attempting to create a green state in Western Canada, I might be tempted to help them. But if they are trying to create an oil state, they cannot expect any help from us. And through national or international channels, we will keep fighting this idea to obsessively want to extract oil from the ground. This, on the same day that his provincial cousins, the Parti Québécois, tabled a motion in the Quebec National Assembly demanding that Quebec exercise a veto over any prospective future changes to the equalization formula. And these statements being made a week after Quebec tabled a budget with a $4 billion surplus thanks to a $13 billion equalization payment from Ottawa, which came from the workers that many of you have had to lay off.